basically. Bon, prêt?
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, got it.
Alright, so this is Donkey Kong 64 no levels early. It's gonna be an interesting race. First of all, we're gonna do a bunch of menuing that will seemingly make no sense, but it's gonna be very key for making this run work. And at the beginning, when we're kind of on a
And yeah, you can kind of just fly like that with DK.
so we can just wait for 50 seconds.
So what we're doing right now is a glitch called intro story glitch, which is basically we interrupt the intro story cutscene at when it's like starts loading the cutscene. And what's happened when you do that, it plays in the background. And while it plays in the background, you can kind of break the game and you can write stuff into your file. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna write into the file all the moves that we need to complete the run. And we're also gonna write that we've cleared some of the cutscenes. So, like Bismuth said, we had to wait for a specific time to exit Cranky and enter that barrel.
So right now the intro story is playing in the background, and every now and then there's going to be a fade out on the intro story, so we're going to time that with things we're doing to unlock moves and skip cutscenes. So for the first 5 minutes we're on a timer and we need to make sure we're following the right steps.
Yeah, because if we do a mistake, it can mean that we have to redo the glitch all over again. So the good thing is that we have quite some time, so we don't have like to rush everything. We can take our time to do the things, but we really need to make sure we don't do something wrong. What we're doing is that we're watching some of the cutscene, or I'm trying to watch some of the boss cutscene, but because we're in the intro story is playing in the background, it's kicking us out of the cutscene. And what we do is that we do in multiplayer, and when we go in multiplayer, it's gonna write to the file that we watch that cutscene.
We did exactly the same weird mistake. I don't know how it happened.
That one doesn't matter though.
No, it doesn't matter.
And then here we hand on Fungi Forest boss, because this cutscene is the one that will give us all the moves that we need in the run. So we won't ever need to enter any Trinky or any Funky, because we're gonna have all the things that we need already. So that's a pretty nice thing. So here we're gonna have to wait because the intro story is about to finish and we have to get pulled into the file, and there's... Yeah, I got the lecture. So there's 10 menu cutscenes, and 7 of these cutscenes will pull you into the file, and 3 of those cutscenes will do nothing. And I got one of the 3 that doesn't pull you into the file, so I have to wait extra time.
So basically, I just got like a 12-second head start, simply due to pure luck. So get wrecked, Obiyo.
Yep, I have to come back now.
don't worry, you'll be able to come back pretty easily. Probably before the end of the first level.
Yeah, Japes can be brutal sometimes. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna complete the last 2 barrels that we didn't do in the ISG.
So by completing the training barrels, we have access to all the moves that those training barrels teach you. So diving, throwing oranges, picking up barrels, and using vines. All of those will be used at some point during the run, so we need all of them.
So basically these 4 moves are the only one we cannot unlock with ISG. So we actually have to complete the barrels for them.
So now I'm going to pay a little visit to my... Well, first of all, I'm going to do the first of many clips through a wall. And this allows me to skip going back to Cranky. Actually, in this category, it doesn't actually skip the visit to Cranky, but it's still faster than pressing the switch to open the gate. I missed the kick. Here you can do a little kick on Warp 1 to enter the loading zone and skip that little squawk stick. It saves a couple of seconds.
Missed it as well.
You have to time your B press just as you're stepping on the warp. If you press it too early, you might miss tagging the warp, and if you press it too late, then you just don't kick like we did. So our little buddy Kilumzy here needs all 8 keys to be freed, and in most categories we don't really care much for giving the keys to Kilumzy because you don't really need the keys to enter levels. There's a myriad of glitches you can use to enter the lobbies early, but this category is no levels early, so it specifically bans getting into these levels early. So we're gonna get all the keys and give all of them to Kilumzy and free our good friend.
This also means we have to get all the required golden banana amount to enter the levels.
Yeah, you're gonna see here the first banana locker. This guy on the other end of the lobby here, blocking the DK portal to Jungle Japes. This one requires 1 golden banana. It goes 1, 5, 15, 30, 50, 65, 80, and 100. So to enter every level, we need the required amount of bananas. So we're gonna collect all 8 keys and 100 golden bananas for this run. As a comparison, the any percent run collects 0 golden bananas and 2 keys. So here it's a little trick called Bush Bush. It can push you out of bounds, and then you can navigate your way to the next section of the level. That skips a lot of little jumping through hoops and cutscenes.
And here is a tree kick. So normally you can't make it across, but if you turn your camera enough, you can create enough lag to make it to that platform. Because otherwise you have to go around the level and take some vines to make it.
Here I think we might be using slightly different strategies for this switch. I'm using a little... It's a bit safer to use this method, but it's also a bit slower.
Yeah, so I'm trying to shut the switch from here. I think I missed, but yeah.
Here, by hitting the switch at the start of the cutscene where Diddy asks to be freed, you can save a good chunk of time by overlapping the cutscenes and skipping the longer one. I'm gonna do another cutscene overlap in a minute or so. But before I do that, I'm gonna collect the first of 40 blueprints. So there are 40 blueprints in this game. Since we only require 100 golden bananas, we wouldn't necessarily need to collect every single blueprint, but the glitch we did at the beginning has some good effects and some downsides. And one of the downsides is that we can't pause the game while the glitch is active. So that has a lot of problems. And basically getting all 40 blueprints would allow us to cancel the glitch later. And so we'll be able to pause the game and save the game and do things that we can't currently do. But we need all 40 blueprints to be able to do that. I'll probably explain more in depth about the 40 blueprints when we get there, because we'll have a lot of time to explain. Oh my god.
Oh god.
Well, now I'm behind.
Yep. It's a lot easier to miss this barrel than it might look. Sometimes lag can kind of screw you over. Alright, so now we're gonna head back up because we have to collect the golden banana to open the gates. Normally you would have like a cutscene here that shows you like, oh, the golden banana is spawning and DD being freed, but because we cancel that cutscene with the with B-Blast, we don't have to watch it. Alright, so now we're gonna attack DD for the first time. And we're gonna head to his mountain GB. And here a little thing you can do, before the cutscene activates, you can do a Chimpy charge and it's gonna continue in the cutscene and you can gain a little bit more distance that way. You can do that with other stuff like Pyramid Punch with Chunky, for example. Here's Bridge Clip. You're not normally supposed to be able to backflip there, but if you go close enough and move just as you're at the peak of your jump, you can kind of clip the bridge and go up.
It's a precise trick, but with enough practice you can... I got wrecked. Okay.
So coming up here, if you slide off an edge like that and you hold Z, you won't take any damage. Unless you release Z and you fall if you fall high enough after you release Z, you will take damage. But if you keep holding Z, you will never take damage. So we're gonna swim to the cave.
Here, if you miss the jump back in bounds, it's pretty bad. So you have to be very careful not to mess up.
Yeah, so the way the out of bounds works is it keeps the last height you had while you were in bounds. And because when you go swim to that cave, the last thing that was under you was the river, and the floor of the river is really low compared to the caves. So if you miss the inbounds, you're just gonna fall all the way to the floor and lose your water. And you have to pretty much either void or try to go back to the main area and get in the water again.
Little moon kick here to go through a weak wall, and we don't have to give 60 bananas to Scuff for the boss fight.
Yeah, so we're not gonna collect any bananas for these boss. We can just get into them really easily with either moon kicks or ledge clips. If you're wondering why I'm looking at the floor, this game is very laggy, and you can save a lot of time just by looking at the floor, like looking away from bosses or explosion and stuff like that. So throughout the run, you're gonna see a lot of lag reduction strats like that. Like here, turning the camera away from the armadillo to introduce a bit more lag. So also, if you run into him as he's like trying to go after you, you're gonna cancel the phase where he's like just rolling around trying to hit you. Because as soon as he does hit you, it just goes into the phase where he shoots you. So you can save some time doing that.
So we're already pretty much done with the first level. We need to exit the first level after getting the key. But like I said earlier, one of the downsides of the glitch we performed at the beginning is we can't save the game and we can't pause the game. So to exit the level, we need to actually go in the DK portal back to the DK Isles. So we can't just pause and select exit level like we normally would be able to.
So what you've saw me do, and your Bismuth will get soon, is torch clip. And if you can kind of just jump at the torch and get pushed out of bounds. And there's out of bounds there are patches of what we call void that just warps you to the beginning of the level. There's one patch right near the torch. That's how we do to exit the level as fast as possible, since we can't just pause exit. We're gonna use that a lot in this run.
Void warps that put you right to the beginning of the level are basically, it's like a big zone that's around the levels that basically triggers when the game realizes something's wrong and you're not supposed to be here. It's like a safety mechanism that just puts you back to the beginning. So our little buddy Calumsy just opened Angry Aztec for us. Angry Aztec is actually one of the two levels we're gonna visit twice because we need to go back later to get Chunky's blueprint in Angry Aztec. Since we unlock Chunky in Frantic Factory later, we need to do 2 visits to Aztec, but that's gonna be very late into the run. It's one of the last things we do is revisit Angry Aztec.
Alright, so Angry Aztec has a lot of stuff that can go wrong. Coming up soon, there will be the first orange clip that we're gonna do. So basically, how this game works, how it handles lag, because this game is really laggy, it often tries to compensate what you see by trying to speed up the game, even if it doesn't look like the game is speeding up. It's speeding up in the background, so you don't notice it, and because it's doing that, you can kind of abuse it and go through walls and like skip collisions. And the game is extremely laggy, especially when you throw oranges. So we're gonna do a few clips in this round where we throw oranges and try to time it to go out of bounds. Like this. So what I just did basically skips a trigger for a cutscene that's about 13 seconds.
I used to be really consistent at this trick, but now I'm not. And that was really stupid. Okay, I still got it. Second try is definitely not as good as first try, but at least I did skip the cutscene. Here with a little precise jump, we can make it on top of the cage to open the gate.
So now we're gonna go into Tiny Temple and we're gonna free her. We're not gonna go the intended way because it's pretty slow. So first, well, I'm gonna do a chimpy charge clip, but I believe Bismuth does the let's clip, so there's two strats here to go out of bounds.
I messed up.
So you kind of just go out of bounds here, and we can travel to the GB. Effectively get in bounds. And even though we collect the GB, Tiny is not actually freed. We actually need to do the puzzle, but pressing the switch for the puzzle is very slow, so we do something that we call Okong. So basically, if you purposely hit the wrong switch the first time, it will activate the puzzle. Because otherwise, if you hit K without activating the puzzle, it's not gonna work. But it's a lot faster to fail one switch and do it the right order than actually like hitting the right switch to activate the puzzle. So depending on the other routes, we do either O-Kong or G-Kong.
I'm bleeding time right now. I'm getting everything second or third try, and it's costing me 5 seconds everywhere.
Also, one thing I don't think we said, you're gonna see us, go a little bit out of our way to collect things like crystal and syringes. And that's because we don't get any refills anywhere, because we're not gonna collect any fairy, which is usually what would, refill your crystal or your oranges. Or, the other way you would refill them would be visiting, someone like Funky for ammo, but we won't visit any of them, so we're pretty much taking care of, keeping track of how many ammo we have, how many crystal we have, because we need specific amounts at certain points to be able to do what we want. It's usually never a problem, but if you start missing tricks and you have to retry, it might become a problem.
Yeah, we always have to be mindful of our, especially the crystal coconut count and the orange count. So I wasn't really happy about using 4 extra oranges to get the Wama cutscene skip earlier. That put me a slight deficit for oranges, so I need to be careful later. It might only come into play in Crystal Caves, which is over an hour and a half into the run, or about an hour and a half into the run. But it's gonna come into play anyway, because of that 4 extra oranges I used.
Yeah, especially Caves is the level that usually you use the most oranges there. So any oranges that you use early is bad for that level.
This boss is more of an auto scroller than the other ones. We have to wait for him to fire 5 fireballs, and every time he fires once more. So first it's 5, then it's 10, then it's 15. So it's increasingly long to wait for him to be done with his stuff.
Alright, so coming up, there's a clip that you can do here if you walk into the sand and roll in a specific spot. Okay. So in these walls and slopes, there's usually weak spots which you can abuse and kind of just go through them. Then if we go here, well, you can backflip in this loading zone, which okay, I got a little bit trouble to do it, but you have just enough height to go into that the room, so it's kind of hard. Wait, I'm lost. Okay, it's this way. I got confused with DD's Fireball Temple GB, because it's the reverse of the pattern here.
Alright, I'm gonna attempt the same clip that Obiyo got first try. Hopefully I'm gonna get it first try as well, but
It's a lot harder than it looks.
I wouldn't say it's random, but it kind of feels like it. But I did get it first try. Alright.
Alright, so we're gonna head to Lama Temple, which is where Lenki is in prison. I'm gonna free him. Oh. Somehow missed this roll. That's a thing you're probably gonna notice throughout the runs, that me and Bismuth do a lot of things differently. And it's not necessarily because I'm doing a safer strat or not. Like, you just can do things in multiple ways in this game because there's so many ways to go through walls and so many ways to do certain things that we're gonna just do the one that we prefer.
This moon kick saves about 2 seconds, but I just think it looks cool enough to try and do it.
Yeah, that's something that I don't usually go for.
Come on.
Oh, this is bad.
I usually get this one first try, but
I think I'm not skewed enough. Because I have very low water.
that would be a problem for you. Ooh, that looks like a pretty bad skew, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I'm
hopefully
just gonna do the normal.
I can use this opportunity to gain back some time on Obiyo here and make it a close race again.
Oh, I messed up. I haven't done this backup in a while. So, okay, so Bismuth got this Q, so that's what I tried to do, and you're gonna see why I wanted to do that. Now I won't be able to do the same route that he did, and I'm gonna lose quite some time.
So because I'm skewed backwards like that, I can basically ignore almost all collision. But I have to be very careful with how I play now, because if I do a regular jump, I will cancel the skew, and I want to keep it for a pretty long time. So I need to be very careful.
And what happens when you miss it is you do the route I'm doing, which is quite a lot slower. But you don't really have a way around it, unless you want to reskew, but I'm not even sure if that's faster.
Nice. So here you have to match all the sounds, but they're always in the same place, so we just learn the pattern. Here, long jumping is slightly faster, but I just don't want to do it in case I lose Q. It's a matter of like half a second, if even that.
Yeah, so the thing with this game is sometimes it's gonna drop inputs because it's very laggy. Um, and if and the long jump inputs are Z and A, so if it eats this Z input, then you do just a regular jump which cancel the skews and it would be really bad.
Yeah, it's just a small risk that I don't want to be taking for no reason. So here I need to be careful with my... Okay. So I kept skew and so I can clip through the wall and warp back to the beginning of the level.
So now Bismuth is ahead by quite a bit because of that.
But I'm pretty confident Obiyo can pick the lead back up in a while.
That's what's you know, with this game, it's not really a consistent game because there's a lot of things that can go wrong, and when it goes wrong, you usually lose a lot of time. So it's really easy to be ahead and then lose it and come back, which makes for really fun races.
I had to think about the route for a second. I almost went the wrong way. I've been getting this a lot lately. I don't know why it happens, but it's annoying. When you do this clip, sometimes it just will clip you to the bottom. Okay, here I have to be very careful. Okay. If I had been stuck in the cage, I would have had to open it by firing at the switch from inside the cage. It's a pretty precise shot and you can waste a lot of ammo on it. And if you get stuck in the cage, it's also about 15 seconds of time loss maybe. And if you happen to run out of ammo inside the cage, then not only is your game soft locked, but your run is actually over. Because like we said quickly earlier, in this state that we activated with the glitch we did at the beginning, not only we can't pause the game, but the game just simply does not save. So if I were to reset my console right now, I would be on a file with 0 golden bananas, only DK, and 5 minutes played. So this will be until the very end of the run. So if we ever softlock or crash or reset or anything, the run is completely over. We have to start from scratch. So that's something we have to be very careful about. Thankfully, there aren't many places we can softlock in, but there's still a couple of them that we have to be very careful about.
There's also the occasional random crashes that can happen. For some reason, this game just crashes in random spots.
I personally, I don't think I've had it happen randomly, but I've seen it happen to other people, so yeah, it can happen. It's a rare occurrence, but it can happen.
Yeah, it's not something you see every day. That's, you know, I think maybe it happens maybe to a runner once or twice a year, but you just randomly crash.
I want to give a shout out to Speed Frog for his amazing moment in this game where he said, "This run is fine," and the game immediately crashes. So this run is fine has become a pretty hot meme. Thanks to Speed Frog. Whoa, what is this camera? I just had the weirdest cameras flip.
Yeah, the camera in this game is weird. Sometimes it just behaves in ways you don't expect it. It just flips around and just doesn't cooperate at all.
Yeah, the camera works by voodoo magic, basically.
That's the best way you can put it.
So this is the third level, Frantic Factory. This memer here, Chunky Kong, is the last one we're gonna unlock. We're gonna do it pretty early, and then it's just gonna be collecting a bunch of golden bananas and blueprints and keys as fast as we can. Okay, so little buddy Ricardo here pushed me through the corner.
Nice. Ricardo was nice.
There's an orange clip to do that same thing, but it's safer to use a robot.
It's also nicer because you don't have to waste these oranges that you would probably need in caves. So you don't need to like go out of your way to get more.
Okay. So what I did here is I activated one of the gates that blocks golden banana for Tiny. Basically, the game only checks your horizontal position and not your vertical position to know if it has to open the gate for you. And so by going under the trigger for opening the gate, even though you're really far below it, you can still open it. And if you listen really closely while you're doing it, you can hear the gate opening, and that's your cue that you did it right. So that gate will come in play in about 6 minutes or so. But it's going to be already open for us.
Hopefully I got it. I'm not that sure I heard the gate sound, but I think it's open.
Yeah, my strategy here was to talk loud enough so he wouldn't be sure if he got it. So hopefully I can save about 15 seconds on him.
Just trying to sabotage my run.
Here, if you angle the camera towards the other side of the room, you can lose up to 4 seconds just due to lag. The cutscene where Lanky dances lasts for about 3 to 4 seconds more. It's kind of ridiculous.
So now he's trying to do power shed kick. You can pretty much moonkick on any of these boxes, so you would see like runners do take different boxes to do the moonkick. But the primary thing you want to do is moonkick to this platform to get to the power shed, because we want to activate the production room. So I personally like this little box here.
This box is basically the worst one you can do it on. So feel free to judge Obiyo right now.
It's not that bad. Though I would say by my result right now, you might be right.
This is also the worst camera angle you could be using for that trick.
Oh, nice! I got shot displacement.
A lot of tricks in this game come down to runner preference. We sometimes do things differently. Because the game is kind of inconsistent, there are no clear setups for stuff. Like, compared to a game like Ocarina of Time, where there's a huge list of setups that involve side hops and backflips and targeting corners, things like that. DK64 has none of those things. So we kind of just have to go with the flow, go by feel, hope it works. So we come up with our own little setups that seem to be more consistent for us than other people. It's really something you just find out by yourself. So I want to fight this boss with Tiny. DK would be convenient to get into the boss, but Tiny would be much better to fight it. So the clip is a little bit harder than with DK, but it's still overall better to use Tiny for this. It's also so you can be Tiny later. After the boss, we'll need her, and there's no tag barrel near that area. So the Mad Jack fight, you can actually optimize it a lot, but I'm not a big fan of Mad Jack, so I never really put in the time to optimize it. So I'm gonna be doing Babby strats.
Yeah, I usually go for faster strats that are pretty risky. So hopefully it's going to go well. Because you can easily just fail and get hit by Mad Jack and lose like 30 seconds.
I want to give a shout outs to Fox for giving me the luck required to get that switch spawn.
Fox luck.
I just got the most amazing Fox luck. The switch spawned exactly under my feet. So this is one of the rarer bosses where, actually, that's not true. But some bosses you have to hit 5 times. I mean, some bosses 3 times and some bosses 5 times. This is one of those bosses that you need to hit 5 times. But a boss like Armadillo and Dugadon needs to be hit 3 times. I can't hear where Mad Jack is. Okay. I'm gonna take that safe. I don't think I would have made it.
Sure, you can juggle with Mad Jack. They can go back and forth to get more fast jumps than slow jumps. Oh. I had Fox sucks and I blew it.
There's some stuff happening right now, and somebody's talking really loud, and I couldn't hear Mad Jack anymore. That messed me up.
Yep, that's what you have to deal sometime with marathons.
Yeah, the audio cues are pretty important for this fight, and I never really realized until now. So yeah. Whatever. I'll just take the hit. So you might be tied now. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
I got hit during the last phase, so that's a lot of time loss. So we're back to tied race.
It's especially costly if you get hit in one of the last phases, because these phases takes more time as you go. Because Mad Jack basically jumps more times before he stops.
So the gate we opened earlier is this one.
And it's open.
Come on. I don't think I've ever failed that backflip before.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't want to go in for some reason. But yeah, if we didn't open that gate while we were out of bounds, we would have need to transform into Mini Monkey and do the little intended way, which is pretty slow.
Yeah, I think it's about 15 seconds. Although if you go for the gate and miss it, then it might be more time.
It depends how fast you can recover. But it's very convenient that you can just open it from out of bounds.
I've been having trouble with this golden banana lately.
So you can kind of just grab that box,
it happened again.
Pull up, and then get the banana.
I don't know what I'm doing wrong. It's very, very annoying to be losing time on this. Okay. So basically, all of my runs this week, I've lost at least 20 seconds on this golden banana, and I have no idea what I'm doing wrong. I used to just get it first try without even thinking about it. Here, because the room is so laggy, you can make gigantic jumps across the entire room. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier to jump on the rotating platform.
Because basically the game adjusts your horizontal speed but not your vertical speed when it's lagging. So your jumps get very floaty and you can jump really, really far.
Okay, so shooting discus plat for safety. You don't want to land on that platform without showing it because it can just shockwave you off. And you lose a bunch of time going back up here.
Yeah, trying to get this splat without using your gun is basically asking to be knocked down.
Right, so here you get, if the crusher goes up, you can kind of just walk in the corner and you get pushed out of bounds. While it's down, it's gonna damage. And we're gonna do it another time because we want to go back to where am I? We want to go back to the beginning of the level, so we're gonna avoid out here. And now I'm gonna do the old clip we talked about earlier because it's a lot easier with DK than Linky. So I don't have to deal with the robot RNG. There we go. So this is the first of the 3 Snide visits we'll do in the run. The reason we don't go to Snide in one go is because we need some amount of bananas to enter the levels, and we cannot really wait until the end of the run to go to Snide to get all the 40 blueprints at the same time. So we have to do a few trips to Snide to make sure we can get to further levels.
Seems like I'm getting every single trick in this run second try.
At least you're getting the tricks.
At least I'm getting the tricks.
So, in this night trip, we're only gonna turn in DKs and DD's blueprints. Because we pretty much only need 30 to enter Galleon, which is why we're turning blueprints here. Because otherwise we would not have enough golden bananas in this route. And we're gonna turn the other ones later. Alright, so now we're gonna do the upper part of Factory. We don't do much, but we have a few blueprints to get and 1 GB. Also, one thing I don't think we talked about is all the guns have different do different amount of damage. So for example, if you try to kill a Kasplat with Chunky, it's gonna take 5 hits to kill the Kasplat. But if you do it with DK or DD, it's going to take 8 hits. And
Yeah,
with
the-
Linky and Tiny, it's 15.
The Kisplats have 15 health, and the guns do 1, 2, and 3 damage. So
So that's why we don't really ever kill Kasplat with Linky and Tiny with the guns, but we do it with the other two because it's faster than just hitting normally. Also, this mini game is purely RNG, so we just hope to get a good time.
there's a couple of things you can do to speed it up, but it's kind of risky to go for. So I'm gonna go for them.
Alright, 21 is really good. So
I
normally
missed
you
the
would
first
see
one.
average like of 18, 19 seconds for the barrel.
So by doing what we think is a frame perfect A press, you can stop it early and stay on the same banana as it was for the first one. But if you're late, then you lose like 5 seconds or more. I got it then. So by getting it, I was able to save maybe 3 seconds or so. You can get it on all three of them, but it's risky to go for. So when I try to go for it, I always kind of try to press it a little bit early just to be sure that I never press it too late. So I got it only once, but it did save me the time I wanted. I would probably have gotten to 15 if I didn't use that strat.
Alright, so now we're done with factory and we'll never visit the level again. This is the first level we do and we never really come back.
Oh my god, Lanky, please.
It's always Lanky's fault.
It's always Lanky. I'm gonna do a different strategy here in the lobby that hopefully will save me a few seconds for Tiny's blueprint. By shooting the Kisplat 4 times with Chunky, that lowers his health just low enough that Tiny can kill him in one shot. Okay, I hit him with a Primate Punch and that's 3 shots. I think all 3 of them hit, so that should be good. Yes. So that saves a couple of seconds. It's really no big deal, but it's a couple of strats like that can save you time.
And here, instead of doing the same thing that I did and pull the lever, you can just monkey up, but it's a lot more
Okay,
risky.
I think that was fast enough to still save time. It's a strat I should not have been going for, but I still did because I'm behind.
I think like a first try moon kick saves about 6 seconds or something like that.
Yeah, that was probably close to being just as fast as the intended route. So here Obiyo's down to 11 bullets, so he starts to have to be careful. Thankfully, he's going to pick up some ammo here, but you always have to be mindful of how many bullets, oranges, and crystal you have. I still have 31, so I'm good on that.
Yeah, at least Gaon is not too bad in terms of ammo because you don't really need any to use any besides the switch. So you can refill here without like for the little levels without being scared of like missing stuff because you don't have ammo.
Yeah, actually, I think from there until the end, the ammo is probably fine.
I usually get very low in Castle, but that's really the only place from now on. So here I picked up the instrument ammo, and that's gonna be very important for Castle later.
Oh my god, I hate my orange count.
Yeah, it's pretty low. You should probably get the one by the portal.
I'm gonna get some by the DK portal at the beginning.
Yep. That's usually the most common one at this point of the run to go for backup.
You'd want to be around 10 to 12 oranges at this point, and I have 6. I think Obiyo has even more.
I think I have like 12 or something. And I usually go for 3 backup as well anyway, because you have time.
Okay, hopefully in this boss I'm gonna save about 2 minutes on Obiyo because of his bad strats and my epic strats. In reality, it's about like 4 seconds, so... And that's if I can pull off all of the hard stuff that my optimized strats require to pull off. Well, I already missed one that saves 1 second. You can jump into the cutscene to gain more distance, but I jumped too late. This boss has 5 phases, and the star gets smaller and smaller on every phase. They're always in the same place, though, so we can just learn the pattern and optimize it. I messed up picking up that star.
Oh, I messed up as well.
So by jumping into that cutscene, I was able to get really far, and so I'm really close to this star when it spawns.
So you're able
And
to...
I turned too quickly. Yeah, I messed up 2 stars, so I was probably not faster.
You missed
And
it
I
as
also
well.
got hit, so no fast key grab. If you aim yourself really, really well into the final cutscene, you can line yourself up exactly in the middle of the boss room. And so when this key appears right now, you pick it up instantly. So that saves like 3 seconds, maybe 2.5 seconds. It's a neat little time saver that's kind of tricky to get.
It's a really little cool out of bounds. Even though the portal is not there anymore, you can kind of use it to go out of bounds.
The blueprint tried to meme me, but I mean the Kisplat tried to meme me, but I was able to stay on the platform. He hit a shockwave just as I was getting on him. Okay. Here the void out trigger is pretty close, so you have to be really careful.
So here I'm gonna be safe and play the instrument to kill the splat. Normally you would not do that, but
Shoutouts to baddie strats.
yep. Because he can sometimes he's gonna be like just really mean and keep shockwaving you off, and you're gonna lose a lot of time. So Galleon is very broken because we can swim through vertical wall, so we can pretty much enter everything without pressing the switches or doing any of the requirements to open these gates. We just kind of just swim through and get the GBs and get out.
Yeah, normally you press switches. Actually, yeah, you press switches for certain ones and you play an instrument. Where Chunky's blueprint was just 30 seconds ago. There's a bunch of instrument pads, so if you play your instrument on those pads, you can open the switch gates, and then you're on a timer to enter it. But doing that is very time consuming, and you can just clip inside the doors instead and get right in. My swimming was awful. I was hitting all the walls. We're gonna tag Lanky. Swimming through walls needs to be done at a very specific, well, not very, but it needs to be done at a specific angle. It can't be done anywhere in any direction. So these gates are really useful because they're exactly aligned with that angle you need. But the gates on the other side of the ship, you can't clip directly through them, so you have to You have to go in the loading zones from the back. It's kind of trickier. We don't do those rooms just because the bananas inside are longer to collect since they're in bonus barrels. So we just collect the ones that are free to grab without extra work. We timed basically every single golden banana in this game and collect only the 100 fastest.
Having trouble with this? Okay.
Nice.
You caught
We're
up.
perfectly tied.
Yeah, I had some trouble clipping the ship there. It's really easy for if you have like a bad angle to just not clip. It's quite precise.
I knew it was faster to clip at the beginning. We just have a solid proof right now.
Yep. I actually did not know. I thought it was about the same.
Do you go in Tiny's room here or okay?
Yeah.
I know some people go back in on the other side, but I'm pretty sure it's faster to go through Tiny's room.
It is faster to go back in Tiny's room. I'm fairly certain.
Okay, so here's the part where I can potentially lose minutes because I haven't practiced this trick much, and I should have.
And you can't do my consistent strat for some reason.
Yeah, I'm gonna try his meme strat once, and then I'm gonna do my own. Nope, I didn't get the moon kick.
I got it.
So now I'm just hoping I can get it as fast as I can. Okay. Oh, please. Okay. I did not get knocked off. That's one of my least favorite parts of the run because it's so obnoxious when you get hit off the golden tower.
Alright, so here's a great time to refill oranges because I'm gonna have to wait for a water cycle, so might as well just pick some oranges. Refill. So, if you notice, we did not raise the water level at all, and that makes some of the stuff harder, like this.
Yeah, this
Oh.
jump is probably one of the trickier ones that we have to do with low water. The other one being the moon kick we just did.
It's pretty precise.
Yeah, we have to wait for the water to be at its highest point and then jump and aerial at the very peak of the jump and then move forward into the ledge so we can grab it. Also, I like that we're an hour and 2 minutes into the run and we're within 5 seconds.
That's pretty incredible.
It kind of feels like a co-op run more than a race, to be honest.
I got the meme swim. So sometimes the Kong will stay in the B animation even though you're not pressing B. And to cancel it, you kind of have to press B again, but I did not catch it fast enough, so I lost quite some time on the swimming. So it's faster here to shoot the Splat, but I don't really have enough ammo, so I decided to just kill it normally. So that's the kind of decision that you have to take when you run this game, based on what are your resources that you have.
I lost half a second to picking up those 3 oranges.
Yep.
So we're not tied anymore. That's a really funny race though right now.
Just back and forth. Alright, so coming up, I don't know if you're going for the switch or the strat.
I'm gonna do the strat.
I'm gonna go for the strat as well.
I haven't gotten stuck in the cage since probably the first time I ever tried it, so I'm confident.
I forgot to turn around. Okay, so coming up, there's a strat that if we miss, we might soft lock, but hopefully we don't.
Well,
we
not
won't.
might. If we miss, we soft lock.
Yeah. It never really happens. It happened to me once ever, so hopefully never again. But
I'm gonna be a little bit careful. Okay.
all right. So if you jump into that cage, then it's over.
Yeah. There's literally no way out of this cage if you get in. And like we explained, but it was a long time ago. We did a glitch at the beginning of the run where it allows us to skip certain boss cutscenes and get all the moves at the beginning, but it prevents the game from saving and it prevents us from from pausing. And we also never said that, but it also makes us invincible, which honestly is more a problem than anything helpful, because we can't death warp anywhere unless it's something that's supposed to kill you instantly. We can't just take damage and death warp. So if we get stuck somewhere, we really get stuck somewhere, and there's no way out. $11 crystals should be plenty of crystals.
Yeah, I have very few crystals as well. I'm not sure which one I missed. So like to be comfortable here, you would probably want like 14 or 15 along those lines. Like at least 13. Well, we have 11, so hopefully we don't waste too much time on this. So we have quite a bit of crystals left. It's not too much of a problem because we're gonna have some of them way later, but it still wastes like a second or two to go out of the way.
Oh, wow, I clipped back in bounds.
Oh.
How did that happen?
So that's where the low crystal count is gonna be bad now because we're gonna be very low, so we're gonna have to think about getting.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have
somewhere.
one crystal entering Jape's lobby. So
So I have 4, it's not too bad.
I'm gonna have 2 actually. That's gonna maybe cost me 2 or 3 seconds later to pick up extra crystals to make up for the ones I just lost by being bad. Interestingly, when you play the instrument pads for Squawks to go give you a golden banana, he always shows up between you and the camera. So we turn the camera to make sure Squawks shows up at an angle that best suits our need. So I turned the camera 90 degrees so the golden banana would be towards the DK portal, and that's just a little thing that saves a second and you can do.
Alright, so coming up is a pretty long skew section.
Yeah, I think I'm probably gonna try to stay focused on what I'm doing to make sure I make no mistake. But basically, we're gonna skew and then do a bunch of things that skew lets us do, like clip inside of everything. And that's gonna be about 3 minutes of just nonsense. Alright, so now I'm skewed. I need to get on higher ground. Where is the higher ground?
I don't like this skew again.
Okay. That's a tricky one here. Camera, please. Okay. The camera was acting really weird, and I was scared I would not make that jump. It's a really tight jump, and if you're still, because you need to hold A for the ponytail twirl across the river, but if you're still holding A by the time you touch the ground, you instantly lose Q. So I had to be very careful. Here, losing skew is a very, very bad time loss.
Which is why I only use kick slides here, just to make sure I don't lose it. And runs it with long jump because long jumping is faster. I don't know why I can't go up there. It's weird. My skewers is very bad, so I'm having trouble doing stuff, but hopefully we'll be fine.
Yeah, you can see how my Tiny Kong is angled downwards a lot more than his. So that lets me clip through things a lot easily compared to Obiyo.
I'm honestly surprised I clipped anything. Okay. I get stuck on walls for like a second before flipping because of how bad it is.
Yeah, that means your angle is just barely good enough, but at least it's good enough.
Well,
Here he tried to do a dance skip. If you get knocked by some sort of damage source into golden bananas, you can skip the dance. And if you do it right, it can save a few seconds. But if you fail it, then you just lost an orange in some time. So I decided not to go for it because I didn't know really the setup. I need a type Mikey here.
I keep missing these. They're not really hard, but you know, when you try to do them fast, it's another thing.
I always forget you can just orange stand down the slope. Okay, so when I enter here, I get reset back to my regular angle, but I don't need skew anymore. For this room, I'm gonna clip. It's not really a clip, it's more like you jump over the wall. Okay. That skips having to kill all those bees, pressing 2 switches, watching cutscene, kill all the bees, watch another cutscene. So getting that clip makes the golden banana in that room fast enough to be picked in low levels early. We used to not collect it because that trick wasn't found. And then, come on, Nike. And then, yeah, when we found the trick to speed that room up, that pushed the golden banana into fast territory, so we included it in the route.
Here you can kind of just mash A and you'll be fine with all the vines. It's really
So
simple.
I got the lanky falling off the tree strat. It doesn't save any time, but it punishes lanky for being lanky. So we tend to prefer getting the strats. Somebody left their base boost running during, I don't know. I don't know what's going on behind this, but there's some severe base.
It's a party. It's a good thing we don't have really any LDO queue coming up.
Nice camera right there. The camera can sometimes get stuck behind walls and you it kind of loses track of you. I might have missed one. Yeah, I missed one. So I have to watch both cutscenes now.
So what you try to do is like me and get both almost at the same time.
Yeah, they're both the two. Oh my god.
Oh no. Yeah, that's the thing that happens if you don't shoot the Kasplat from the middle platform and you go for the normal kill. Sometimes you just get shockwaved. It's pretty risky, but
I saw the shockwave coming and I still jumped and I have no idea why.
pick up the boulder. So I'm gonna attempt a den skip here. Oh, the beaver's in the good spots. Okay. So, get damage into the golden banana. No dance. Maybe saves a few seconds. Why did I pick DD? Okay. So now we're done with Japes.
Oops.
Just gonna head to Fungi and do the stuff there.
My banana's kind of far.
Yeah, sometimes the beaver can be pretty far, and it takes a while for him to get there.
I think that's still safe time, but that was kind of borderline. I had to wait quite a long time for the beaver to get there.
Alright, so very important thing at the beginning of Fungi. I'm gonna attack Warp 4 because I'm gonna enter an area that I won't be able to exit unless I take the Warp 4.
Shoutouts to Tudos for forgetting to tag Warp 4 like twice and losing a bunch of NLE runs to that warp. So here I'm going to use a slightly different route to the rocket barrel so I can collect more crystals along the way.
Oh, this is bad. I kinda got stuck under. Probably lost like one more crystal than I should have to that, but there's a lot of easy crystal to pick up in this level. So this is usually where we refill.
Come on, how did that hit me? Again, we're picking up the golden bananas that take the least amount of time to get.
Oh. Shoutouts to Emo's B. Oh, jump. No. What
Did he
was
get
that?
wrecked by Emo Arbiter's B?
Yes.
Nice.
Shoutouts to Emo. Well, I guess I'm gonna pick more.
I looked at your screen while I was jumping to Chunky's Kasplat. Never do this at home. I got very scared that I just jumped all the way down for a second.
I pretty much got hit by the Zinnier because I wasn't able
Oh my
to backflip
God.
up the ladder, but
Emo's waifu was literally hugging me.
alright, we're past the Zinnier.
Yeah, I find the Zinger to be particularly dangerous when you go back this way, because you can just jump into it if you're not careful. This time I was careful, but I could very well have jumped into it.
Also, if you're wondering if this Cusplat was bigger than the other ones, he is actually bigger. For some reason, Cusplat don't always have the same model, like height and stuff. And that one was the biggest one. Right, so here's usually where I pick up some of the crystals. Because there's 4 really easy in the way to get.
Oh, I go back in bounds a little bit further because swimming is faster than walking. So here I go back in bounds. We should have similar amount of crystals now. I think I have slightly more, but at this point I don't think it matters.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter at this point. I'm usually if I have a 10 and it's enough for me, but I have 9, so I'll be fine.
Just as a warning on Knight's knees in the close future, in the near future.
Right, there's a lot of loud stuff going on here. Alright, so this is the second blueprint turn-in session we're gonna do. We're gonna turn in blueprints for every Kong except DK. So I think most have 5 blueprints. Yeah, it's pretty loud out here.
Some folks are enjoying loud music right now, but thankfully we need no audio cue at the moment.
Yeah, I don't think we have any audio cue for a long while.
I'm just taking off my headset to kind of rest my ears.
So this is kind of just, you know, a section where you're gonna chill out, relax a bit before what's coming up. No, there's not really much to do.
I'm kind of struggling to find the balance between my glasses, my mic, and my headset.
Alright, so after Chunky, we only have DD, and then we'll go to fight the fungi boss.
Okay, this already looks a lot better. Hopefully I'll be able to sustain this until the end.
Alright, so now we're gonna enter Troffenskopf and turn into DK to fight the boss. And it's going to be a quick kill, the only quick kill, boss quick kill that we have in the game. And it's actually pretty simple, but it's precise enough that you can miss it. But hopefully I won't, because otherwise I'm gonna lose a lot of time. See, when I bring the barrel near near him and jump into him like that, and it triggers the Chucky and the punching cutscene at the end, and then you just get the key. So it skipped having to do the whole fight as Chunky.
Hello? What?
Whoa. That was weird.
This is ridiculous right now.
So here there's like no walls, so you can just walk out of bounds. I'm gonna loop around to come back in and get the GB. Right. You got it. That's what
I
matters.
haven't failed this trick in a billion years. And somehow it just happened 3 times in a row.
It's one of those tricks where you don't think you'll ever fail it, but for some reason, sometimes it's not gonna work. Okay, so coming up is a very important section. You can actually get stuck here. So hopefully that won't happen. Okay, that's a good skew. Alright. So we get this queue there so we can escape, because otherwise the only way to escape is a very difficult board in the barn. And I personally don't even know it, so I'm gonna have to get this queue.
Whoa. Wow.
Almost into the
I
void.
was about to go out of bounds to void out. Are you kidding me right now?
Oh, at least you can escape. It's not bad.
I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Yeah, it can happen for some reason.
I started swimming up way too early.
Okay, that's a good skew.
I thought I was far enough.
But that's not good. Also, these instrument pads don't actually require any instrument ammo. So you could go through the run without taking any ammo and you would be fine.
That jump's not supposed to be hard, and I almost failed it the second time. I'm not sure what's going on.
You probably don't have a good camera angle to make more lag. But yeah, a lot of the jumps can be made easier with lag. So this is a spot I like a lot to pick some more crystals. There's two very fast crystals. He's gonna have to wait for the Kasplat to get up again anyway, so it's a great spot for that.
So we're gonna enter Crystal Caves in, well, he's gonna enter it in 10 seconds. I'm gonna enter it in about 2 minutes.
So right at the beginning, we're gonna do a pretty, it's not a really hard skew section, but it's important that we do it right, because you can lose a lot of time if you miss it. Also, you can possibly soft lock, I think, in one of the rooms. Alright, so this queue should be fine. Yeah. I've had trouble with these this run, but this is the last you need to do, so.
For a second, I thought the blueprint was going to be inside the boulder. That's something that happened to me this week, and it was ridiculous. The blueprint can end up inside the boulder, and then it's impossible to pick it up, and you lose a minute.
So shoutouts to using Rocket Barrel rather being skewed.
Yeah, I have a pretty big chunk of time to make up now, but it's still not impossible.
There's still a few hard tricks in the round that we have to do. Like, I could very much lose like a minute on some of them.
Hello? Do you see that?
Oh, it happens sometime when the water is too low. It's weird how it works.
That cutscene's not supposed to play before I'm already skewed. This one, even though the fight is a bit different,
you want to do the same strat as the first key, which is put the barrel in front of Armadillo to speed up the process, which I missed, but you see how much slower it is to throw the barrel after he's invulnerable versus putting the barrel in front of him. Also, this fight is a lot of C-ups and looking away to reduce lag because it's very laggy.
Nice looking at the ground.
Thank you. Alright, so there's gonna be a little strats here. Armadillo cannot get damage until the big missile is destroyed, so I'm just gonna backflip on it, but my barrel wasn't close enough, unfortunately, but as soon as I would have get hit by that big missile, if the barrel was placed in the good spot, I would have killed the boss right there. So coming up is probably my least favorite room in the game. Because there's a pretty hard moonkick to do, and it can take a while to get. I might try for about 15 seconds and do the intended strat.
Ah, come on. My barrel blew up for no reason.
Yeah, I cannot get this strat. I'm sure Bismuth will get it. It's probably one of the trick I'm the worst at, so it's not really surprising to me. That kick takes a while to get used to.
I'm generally pretty consistent at the rotating room kick, so that's a pretty good chance I have to save about a minute back.
So the next golden banana we're gonna do is the reason we want to have a fair amount of oranges, because it's going to be the tiniest 5-door cabin, which is you need to kill a bunch of clap traps to get the GB, but these are purple clap traps, which only dies to the oranges. So that's the reason we want to have a fair amount there. So we don't have to like go collect every single orange that drops from them being killed.
All right, so if I get this kick pretty early, I'm gonna have saved a lot of time. All right, I got it third try, which is good enough.
Yeah, so he caught it probably at least like 40, 45 seconds, something like that.
Probably, yeah. I almost went the wrong way.
So in this route, what is really cool about this route is that we tagged Warp 5 beforehand. In the previous routes, we would have to take the baboon balloon pad near the castle and float all the way to that platform with Lanky, and that would kill a lot of runs because it's really hard to land and kill the splat without with all the lag that goes around.
Oh my god, I thought I jumped off.
Alright, so here I'm going to do a lag kick. So normally you can't make that, but if you throw oranges, the game will lag enough to make it so that you can't make it all the way to Cranky and tag Tiny. And because we tagged Warp 4 earlier, we can just go here, take Monkey Port, and get to the Ice Shield GB. We used to do a very hard clip into this Ice Shield before, but now we can just take the Warp, so it's a lot easier. Alright, so that's about it for caves. I'm gonna pick up one extra wrench just near the portal in case, because we have to do a damage boost for a golden banana in the lobby. And if you run out of oranges, the backup is pretty hard for me. I'm gonna attack DK, and normally you would have to go all the way in the other room and get the barrel so that he's invincible, but you can just damage boost into the lava and get the GB like that, and then you'll die after the dance and get warped to the beginning of the lobby, which is convenient because we have to exit now. So
Can you not slide off? Okay.
yeah, the igloo is pretty can be pretty troll sometimes. Also, I won't be turning in key 6 now because I don't need it to unlock Castle, and I will be giving it to Kalumsy at the same time of key 7 when I exit Castle. So we have just enough golden banana here to enter the level. You need 80, we have 80, so the route is just perfect for that.
Yeah, the route is very careful with the amount of blueprints you turn in and the amount of bananas you get. So you're always good, but just enough.
also that we can get the absolute fastest one throughout the game. So Castle used to be a level where we would pretty much get 1 golden banana, 5 blueprints, and the boss key and leave. But now we have quite some more stuff with the new route that's been out for like 3 weeks or so. Which is really fun. It adds some more stuff into the late game. Make it less about blueprints. So here I think I have enough ammo to shoot the splat. I do. I want to make sure I have at least 1 or 2 bullets because I need some to enter one of the room in the tree.
I forgot to get Diddy's blueprint before entering.
Yeah, I was about to say that you didn't have the right phone.
I can get it when I exit the level.
Yeah, it's a bit slower, but it's not a big deal. Alright, so this is the switch I need the hammer for. Because there is DK's splat here, so we absolutely need it. And in this tree, there's a wall which is really weak, and you can kind of just roll through like this. Doesn't work every single time, but it's pretty weak, so it works most of the time. And we can just skip the whole little mini game here of shooting the targets. Now, Crypt Swim. This swim is pretty precise. Okay, I got it. It's really easy to pop back and bounce on both sides because it's a very narrow amount of space in which you can swim here. But by doing that, you can get all the way to the crypt here and tag DD and get his blueprint.
I'm pretty bad at that swim here, so hopefully that goes well.
So I'm gonna rocket barrel all the way up to go tag DK to do a ledge clip into a room. Hopefully I won't fail it because failing that ledge clip is really bad.
I got stuck against seemingly nothing for a very long time.
So it's pretty precise, and if you like go too far, DK's only like grab the ledge. Alright, I got it. So normally you would enter this area from another door, and you have to do like a puzzle and kill some enemies to get to this GB. But because we ledge clip into the loading zone in which you usually exit, we enter exactly where the GB is, and then we can exit pretty quickly. Alright, so this is the reason we took ammo and galleon like an hour ago. It's to do this room fast. Basically, you need to get the GB, you need to kill all the bats, and it's so much easier and faster to do it if you play the instrument. And hopefully we'll get the den skip here. Okay. It's pretty easy to line, but you can always miss it. Alright, so now I'm in cutout. A lot of this boss is lag reduction. It's probably the laggiest boss. Maybe beside like some phase of Carol. Oh. I took it safe there because it's really bad if you lose Lenky because you need him immediately after for his blueprint, so just taking it easy, not trying to lose him. One thing to note is that the right Carol to hit will never appear at the same spot you just shot the laser. So there's only other 3 options you need to watch instead of 4. So he's not gonna spawn on my left here. Okay, so the ghost spawned on the same cannon I was in, and that's really important to know because that's the side on which I can STVW, which will be useful to get a quick key grab. So I need to stay on this cannon. Alright, so now that we have beaten cutout, I'm gonna fall here directly on this Cosplat. And hopefully I won't fall here. So we pretty much only need to get 2 tinies Kasplat and then we can get out of this level. Alright, so we're done with Castle. Now that we have keys 6 and 7, we're going to go ahead and go to KLMZ and turn them in. Because we have to open Helm, which is the last level.
I still need to pick up the Diddy blueprints in the castle lobby. I need to not forget about that.
True. So I need to not forget to turn in both keys. It's actually really easy to forget that because all the other time you visit KLMZ, you only turn in one. So you always have the muscle memory to leave, but you have to go again and turn the second one. Alright, so now, even though we don't have enough golden bananas to enter Helm, we need to go up there because there's DK's Kasplat hiding in the lobby. And we need that Kasplat when turning in all the blueprints. So here, instead of shooting the switch to spawn the bridge, I'm gonna damage boost into the lava and get to DK's Kasplat. Oh no, I went through the blueprint and didn't pick up the blueprint.
Oh, rip.
Bad at detection. Have to redo that again. Good thing I had 4 oranges, so I could afford that. Alright, got it this time.
I should attack Tiny, but I guess doing a slower method, slower route.
So now, like we talked earlier, we need to visit Japes and Aztec twice, and we already did Japes, so now we're gonna go to a Aztec. Because there's one more blueprint that we haven't gotten, and that's Chunky's and Aztec, which is hidden in the 5-door temple. And to get to that blueprint, we're gonna have to do some out-of-bounds stuff. If you haven't seen Honky Chunky earlier, Honky Chunky is really broken in this game. You can pretty much clip anywhere with that. And that's what we're gonna have use here. So hopefully I have quite some crystal. I don't exactly remember. Actually, that's enough. So I'm gonna do this kid jump, go out of bounds, walk around here. Oh, I need to stay out of bounds. Okay. Well, underneath here. And now I'm gonna clip in the back. And I'm gonna enter Chunky's room, hopefully. Okay. It's actually possible to fall into DD's room, which is right underneath. But it doesn't really happen often. If that would have happened, I would have need to exit that room and then go all the way back to the Unky Chunky barrel. Because that's the only way to enter it, unless you want to do a very long intended section to spawn the switch. Alright, so now we have all the blueprints, but we're gonna get one more golden bananas. So the spawns on this mini games are random. And the red film is worth 2 and green worth 1 point. This one is pretty easy, but some of the other ones can be pretty touchy to do.
At this point, it's going to be very hard for me to gain some time back because a lot of the rest of the game is going to be cutscenes or things you can't really speed up much.
There's one thing I can think of, which is Helm, because I'm probably going to go for the faster one that is inconsistent, but beside that, it's going to be hard. But I want to try the faster Helm because I know you don't do it, but it's different enough that I don't want to show it as well. So that's the last section, last little bit of turn-ins of blueprints. So we're gonna turn in all the ones that we have left, and that's gonna get us to 100 GB. And once I'm there, I'm going to explain why we needed all these.
Come on, Chunky. You can do it.
I think you need to be angled a little more to the right. Here you go.
I picked up 10 homing ammo in Helm Lobby to make this temple a lot easier.
Yeah, not having to worry about aiming for the switch is very nice.
.52, I think that's my best.
Yep, that's a tie with me, I think. My
That
best.
I think that ties my best as well. I've never gotten a 16 getting out of the temple. I don't know if it's possible. It probably is.
It probably is, but wouldn't
I thought that had a pretty good shot at it, but I was still a third of a second off.
just a little more corner cutting.
That was slow. Normally you want to grab the tree and then jump across without taking damage. But I messed up grabbing the tree. Hey, looks like we're tied.
Alright, so I only have Lenky and Tiny left. When I get to Tiny, I'll explain why getting all these 40 blueprints was so important, because you probably noticed some of them were really far out of the way and they were not fast at all. But
Especially the last one we got just now.
yeah, that one is probably the slowest one you can get of all the blueprints. That and DK and the one in Helm. But there's a very specific reason we do that. So I hope I have all of them. I'm not sure how many GBs I have.
So, because we turned in all the blueprints, we're gonna have access to bonus minigames in Snide's room. And playing one of those minigames, if you fail it and then you don't want to try again, it puts you back in Snides. And basically, that puts you back in the inventor mode. And so the game is back to normal. You can pause, you can save. You can do everything you could normally do. So now he's gonna pause and exit level. So that's the first time you can actually pause the game, look at your totals and whatever you can. Look at like your orange count and things like that.
And now the game is safe, so if the game randomly crashes, then I can just continue. But the reason we need that is because we're going into Helm right now, and the key H room is... You can get out of it, but it's really hard. Then there's a chance you won't be able to get out of it and be stuck there.
Yeah, you have a limited amount of attempts to clip out of the room because you use oranges for it. So if you run out of oranges to clip out, then there's nothing you can do and you're just soft locked in there.
But because we cancelled MMM, oh, what is DK? But because we cancelled MMM, we now can pause exit out of there, so it doesn't matter.
So Obiyo's gonna go for a a faster helm that involves getting through most of the level as DK, but it does involve a couple of tricks that can lose you some time if you fail, especially if he gets inbounds at certain places in the level. He's gonna have to reset and re-enter helm.
Keep tagging the wrong Kong. So here normally you have to get up the slope with Lenky, but you can just kick slide up and then skip having to walk with Lenky. So now is the part I'm tagging DK. I have to do a switch kick, which is pretty hard. This switch is probably one of the number 2 reason people reset in any percent. So not only you have to get the moon kick, but you have to clip out of bounds. Okay, I got it. And now I need to gain some height on this room. So I'm gonna try to land on the little bit of the room that's sticking out of the walls without going inbounds. Okay. If I go in bounds, I need to reset my game and try again. Okay. So now that I made it here, they do a terminal clip. Can you just get into a little gap in the pixel they can fall in and roll all the way to key 8. And here I made sure to turn my camera away towards the window and the door, because there's a thing in this game called fake key, and so which is basically you can grab this key but it will be fake and won't save. So when you get to KLMZ, you won't actually have the key 8 and you have to redo Helm to go to get key 8. But if you look at the window and the door, the key will actually be loaded. So by doing that, you know you will never get fake key.
If you want to see fake key in action, go watch CFox's run of DK64 any% at AGDQ 2013. Back then, we knew about fake key, but we didn't know how to avoid it. So he didn't do what you're supposed to do to avoid it. He got fake key and lost 3.5 minutes having to go back. It's a pretty funny moment of AGDQ.
Alright, so now I'm gonna skip the cutscene when it starts because we don't have to watch it. So as soon as this cutscene starts, K-Roll's ship will be spawned in Isles. So now I can just go out, restart the game, go there and then beat him, and that's gonna be game. So now Bismuth is going to do the chunky version of Helm. Here you have to be a bit careful to not go in the Blastomachic room. Yeah, we went a bit too far.
No, I'm using this strat.
Oh, really? I've never seen somebody use that with Chunky. That's interesting.
Ah, come on. I don't think I've ever failed that one 3 times. Okay. I was on pace for a sub 2-minute Helm, I think, with Chunky, which is very rare, but then I messed it up.
Alright, so DK's phase is pretty simple, but one of the optimization you can do is you can jump in the first barrel as it spawns. So I'm gonna try to do that. And what you can do with that, you can pretty much shoot straight away on the first set, which you would normally have to wait for K-Roll to stop punching. Also, the amount of punches it throws before stopping is set. So the first one, if you would be to miss the quick barrel, would be 4, then 5, then 3, then 7. Also during the phase, I was looking, you know, out. No, I wasn't looking in the near towards Carol, but I was looking outward to reduce lag. A lot of this fight is reducing lag because there's a lot of thing in all the phases that produces a lot of it. For example, Tiny's phase, I think you can save like 20 seconds just on
Yeah,
lag.
it's over 20 seconds just by doing lag reduction. It's a ridiculous amount.
I totally forgot to do the strat here.
3 or 4 years ago, the best players would be able to get about 13 and a half minutes on K. Rool, and now it's down to 12, 15 or so.
This is not looking too good. So you can hit this. You can hit the switch on the other side that you're standing on if you're like on a good position, but I'm always a little bit too far. So you can pretty much, if you're standing near the corner of the switch and you're angled and close enough, you can hit both switches like that. So that's what you usually try to go for all four lights, but it's kind of precise. So this phase, you try to. There's gonna be switches around the level, and hitting the switches will make barrel rise, and these barrels contains banana peels, and you're gonna try to make K-Rool slips on these banana peels by playing the instrument. The place and the location in which we throw these peels is very important, because it's gonna make it so that we can catch a cycle on all the other ones that are after. Alright, that should be good. So hopefully Bismuth will get the backflip strat into the rocket barrel that I missed. So you can go into the rocket barrel like that during the cutscene, and it skips it saves a bit of time, and it saves troubles of trying to not get hit while entering the barrel.
That was quite the Diddy phase.
Looked pretty good. A lot better than mine for sure. Alright, so Tiny Phase is pretty much the looking at nothing simulator.
Yeah, Tiny Phase is basically GoldenEye. You want to be looking at the ground as much as possible.
So we're just gonna look away to reduce lag. Both during his shockwaves and in the shoe.
Was that too early? I think it's okay.
So here we follow.
Okay.
The toes always have the same pattern, and we look down to reduce lag, and then throw our wrenches to hit the toe. This is pretty much the only instances in the game where throwing a wrench just causes less lag. When you have your gun out, the gun creates an insane amount of lag in the shoe. So actually throwing a wrench just saves time over using the gun.
Hopefully that's good. That was a close one. I'm notoriously bad at lanky phase, so I just showed a good example of why you should get good at key rule. Even though it looks like a 12-minute cutscene, you can actually save a lot of time if you play it well. So now it's cutscene time for me while Obiyo finishes up tiny phase. From this point on, there's not really much variance between runs. It's usually between, maybe within 5 to 10 seconds from this point to the end.
Yeah, it's really hard to come back in Carol.
Unless you backflip and choke a punch. That's possible.
Maybe. Alright, so now I'm done with tiny phase and I only have chunky phase left. Which is actually really fun.
That reminds me. I found a way to skip the squawks text in this fight. You turn the camera so K. Rool is between the camera and you, and squawks doesn't show up.
Really?
I found that in a run not too long ago.
Nice.
I found that this week. I forgot to document it.
Yeah, I'd never heard of that before.
I'm gonna try to show you the camera you need. You need like this camera. I had this camera and squawks just didn't show up.
Nice. So for this phase, we use the shadow on the ground to know when to punch. So we have visual cues on when the shadow gets to a certain point, we can punch. Alright, so time is gonna be on the next punch. if I don't miss it. Oh. Alright, shoutouts to Connor75. What time? This is at 2:24.
That's actually faster than my best time.
Not by a lot, but it was a good round.
I got confused and I aimed at the wrong toe, but it still worked.
Yeah, the splash damage of the orange is pretty lenient. So now you get to watch the cutscene with Candy. Everybody's love.
Alright, I have one more phase to go. I should be just over 228. I'm gonna try to go for all the tiny time savers in this phase and hopefully get a chunky phase world record.
It's like a 2:07 in game time, I think.
I don't remember what it is, but check the memer boards. I'm not gonna do the skid jumps actually, so maybe not. That was worryingly early.
Yeah, that timing was weird.
Oh, I missed the switch. Well, there goes that.
Just a bit too early again.
Missed it twice in a row.
That's actually really hard to do. I don't even go for it.
That's why this is a risky trick. If you mistime slightly your jump, you're taking fall damage for seemingly no reason. Alright, time's coming up, and time. Alright, well that was Donkey Kong 64, no levels early.
So I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys enjoyed. It was a good race.
Yeah, I think the race was really close until we... it was until I missed the two switches and then got knocked off by the Kasplat in the Japes Underground.
Yeah. Then that's where
And
it
from there it went downhill for me, but for the first half of the race we were really, really close.
Which is
So-
quite surprising because this is not usually a game where you're always really close.
Yeah, it's a game where you can be like 2 minutes ahead and then lose those 2 minutes, and then it's a very unforgiving game. Every run you seem to be losing time with different things. It's never consistent. It's always some new beam that gets you every time.
Well, that was it. So thank you guys.
Yeah, thanks for watching.